Welcome everyone to episode 30 of our podcast. This week's energy is very profound as you look through different Kabbalistic writings that pertain to the energy of this week, astrologically as it pertains to the energy of this week, and just generally what people are going through. The lesson, the vibration that's available for all of us is how powerful letting go and surrender is in order to actually expand and create space for energy to come in. And so one of the things that we talk about is, for example, the different religions have mentioned it, and obviously it's a spiritual concept, but the 7 days of creation, the seventh day being a Sabbath. What is a Sabbath? What is the technology of a Sabbath? It is a day of completion and wholeness, meaning that everything is perfect. And often we've talked about this concept that in order to manifest something, every time you come from lack, you plant a seed of destruction. And every time you come from a place of wholeness, you actually build the right foundation. So when you wake up in the morning, if you're going out into the world because you feel you're missing something, that means everything you did that day actually gets swallowed up into a black hole. Even if it looks like it's productive, at some point it must be erased. And so many people throughout their whole lives, they will be building structures, relationships, families, businesses, reputations based on something they need, which is being driven by their tikkun, their soul's correction, some form of lack or fear that their soul brought into this world. And it's now making sense why 10 years later, maybe that money disappears. Or 20 years later, they have a fall from grace and the reputation disappears. Or all of a sudden, a business that was being so successful is no longer successful. Why? Because somewhere along that journey, the motivation, the drive, the impetus to create came from lack, from fear, from needing to prove something to someone, from validation. And so every day becomes a vessel of energy. And if that day's vessel is lack, even if you're productive, the vessel must disappear eventually. What is the Sabbath? I've personally observed like a technological Sabbath for 22 years in a row, where I just let go of everything I'm doing for about 24, 25 hours. There's physical benefits or spiritual benefits, but really what it does is it's training the soul to realize that you don't need to do anything. Everything is already there. It's actually the seed level. It's not only the manifestation of the prior week, it's the seed level of the week to come. And the intention that you are planting for the week to come is, I'm about to enter this week, Sunday to Friday, or whatever day you choose to be your Sabbath, whatever your spiritual path or religious path chooses to be a Sabbath. You are planting a seed of saying, hey, I'm about to enter this week, and there's really nothing I need. I'm here as almost a favor to the creation. I'm here as a favor to my friends, my family, my business, my customers, my clients. Not because I need something from them, but I'm here as a favor to the Creator to reveal all of this energy. I'm simply going to be walking into these relationships, walking into these circumstances just to reveal. Not because I need something. The Kabbalists call this the transformation of the desire to receive for the self alone into the desire to receive for the sake of sharing. Meaning, I receive, but not because I need, but because it gives pleasure to the person sharing. And as a result, I become a sharing force as well. It's like when your mom cooks you a meal and you eat, not because you're hungry, but because you know how happy it makes her. So who's the giver? Is your mom the giver or are you the giver? You're both givers. It's perfect circuitry, and now we have two givers. No one's actually taking anything. Taking happens when we feel we need it to be happy, when we need it to fill a hole inside of us, when we need it because we feel empty, and instead of transforming ourselves to become like the Creator, we're just going to take some type of external energy to fill ourselves up. And we've talked about this in so many of our Kabbalah masterclasses, that when you take energy from a place of emptiness, you feel full for a moment, and then the energy must leave. The energy then goes to what's called the impure system, to these forces that are called klipot, shells that hold the light. And they're almost like parasites that grow stronger and inflict damage on our lives because we drew light into the world, but then we had to hand it over because we didn't have the vessel for it. We drew it from a place of lack. And then when there's chaos, pain, and suffering, these klipot, these negative forces, release the light back to us, and we start that process over. But pain doesn't need to exist. Suffering does not need to exist. We can choose to grow and elevate and to learn simply by pausing and connecting to that energy of Sabbath, that energy of everything is whole and complete. What does it mean in the Bible? God rested on the seventh day. What does it mean rest? Something that is in a state of rest and does not move is because it does not feel that it needs to. You look at very, very spiritual beings, great sages. Think of if Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, these souls were here today. You think they'd be running around, even physically moving a lot? Everything is slow. Everything is intentional. There's no need to rush. There's no need to manipulate. There's no need to control everyone and scream at everyone and push everyone. Don't get me wrong. We need to be diligent. We need to be a force, a powerful force. In our company, if we were passive, nothing would work. We're not saying be passive. We're saying be strong, be intentional. And when you're coming from a place of wholeness, what you say in one word is more powerful than what you say in 1,000,000 words when you're coming from a place of lack and reactivity. And not only is it more powerful, it lasts and it brings blessings. Because anything you say from reactivity eventually destroys. So this is the week to surrender. Surrender what? Surrender the need to prove something. Surrender the thought that you need anything at all. When we connect to that vibration that everything is already completed, everything is already whole, everything is already manifested for me at this moment, I enter into the tree of life. And in the tree of life, it's all there. And the physical world then has to follow. Yes, there's a lag. That lag is there intentionally because if everything happened instantly, the result would just train us to do the actions robotically, not because we truly believe in it. We realize, hey, every time I have certainty, 5 seconds later, everything I want happens. So I guess I'll just have certainty all the time. It's not a real choice. The choice is I have certainty, then nothing happens. I have more certainty, and then nothing happens. And then I have more certainty. And guess what? It actually falls apart. And then I have more certainty. And then the vessel is complete, and everything you lost comes back, plus 1,000 times more. That's the real process of life. You do the right thing, nothing happens. Then you do the right thing again, nothing happens. Then you do the right thing again, and it actually falls apart. It looks like you went backwards, and then you choose the right thing. You choose the certainty. You choose the giving. You choose the proactive behavior. You choose not coming from lack. You choose the not complaining. You choose not putting people down. You choose honoring the people in your life that you actually think are hurting you. You choose it. Not because they deserve it or you want to be spiritual, but because you want to be the perfect vibration, the perfect vessel for yourself, even selfishly to look at it. Kabbalah means to receive. And we're learning just how to receive and how to hold on so that the blessings last forever. So right now, whatever it is that's preoccupying you in your mind, let it go completely. Let it go simply because it's already done. It's already healed. It's already perfect. You already have what you want. Move through your day with that happiness, with that smile, with that relaxed feeling. That is already done. You should celebrate today. Today should be a day of celebration. Why? Because you already finished the job. This is your Sabbath. You can pick a Sabbath whenever you want. It says, spiritual law says that in the desert, when the Israelites were moving through it, according to the Bible, if they forgot what day the Sabbath was, they would just pick a day and then count 7 days from there. Which is interesting that the sages would tell us that. What are they trying to say? They're trying to say that at any moment you can live in the energy of the Sabbath. In fact, it says, if you could see a great soul who's finished his or her correction, and you look in his or her face, it shines like the light of the Sabbath. That's what the writings say. What does that mean? It means that a great soul that has finished his or her tikkun, soul correction, already exists in the realm of the Sabbath. 7 days a week. Already exists in a whole state, a perfected state. Which means that we can and should be living there as well. It's not once every 7 days. It's every moment. And so when people look at your face, when people come into your energetic field, when your children come into your energetic field, when your investors come into your energetic field, when your friends come in, immediately they're going to feel whole. They're going to be like, I don't know what this is, but I always want to be around you. Because it's a perfected energy. Instead of what most people are doing, just taking energy from everybody else. Create your own energy. Be a producer, not a consumer. Be a river, not a swamp. Be life, not death.